Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Bettina. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for being with us again in those times and sharing your precious time with us. Um, yeah, but we're starting again with our interviews, and it's really high season everywhere. So this is why it's good to talk to you. I have been asking around a bit and seeing what clients are saying and what's going on in my life as well. And of course, what's very visible here in Germany and in Austria is the elections. Of course, very political in the United States. Everything there are persons who are maybe not so wanted, who are in an authority place. And what we see is a strong split actually between the parties and between yeah parts of the world. Um, and I just have been talking to my boyfriend, and he says it's as well. It's that there's just so much not joining each other. It's just one part or the other part, and what we have, for example, in the political ways that the ones who have been leading for many years are not bringing development. So many people, even though they do not want to go for the right ones, for the right parties, are electing them because they hope for some development. I found that actually very interesting, and I can see that in my private life as well, that this is true. Um, and there's so much going on, actually, that yeah, I see that with clients in my job as well, that nobody is knowing where this is going on, where this is leading us. What do you say? Where is this leading us?
Well, where there's splits like this, we're not going anyplace. We're just people get frightened
Yeah.
because I even personally a split mind. You want one thing, but there's this hidden side that wants another thing, and that keeps happening, and you're wondering what's going on. But it's our split mind, and so the key is to bring our minds together.
Mhm.
Betty, what if I were to tell you that you had the power to start moving things together?
Yeah, good. I think so.
Like that. So I mean, these splits, we were on more of a liberal side, if you will, and now it's going to a more right-wing side. And basically, liberals are feeling like the loss of everything that they worked for.
Yeah.
And the right wingers are going, we want some change here,
Mhm.
even if it means, doing things the right way, which is our way.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So, let's imagine this over all your lifetimes. Now, so you're just going to have to use your intuition here. How many times were you super right wing?
80% comes up.
So this 20% liberal energy is just a um, kind of a new charge in your lifetimes.
Mhm, mhm.
But how much today have you been judging the right wing?
80% comes up.
Yeah. So can you see that you might be judging yourself?
Mhm, mhm. Sure, yeah.
So, so you have a split mind,
Yeah. Mhm.
and you're hoping, your right wing side can kick ass and get some things done
Yes, exactly.
to make your life better.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but how many layers does that split go down?
2000.
Right. And this is a major split in the worldview. And what is needed now in the world is unity.
Mhm,
And unity comes from what we can bring to it.
mhm,
When there are people who have reached that place of wholeness and unity in their own mind. But are you ready to reach that place of unity in your mind and be that lighthouse,
yeah. Mhm. I'd
you
love
know?
Yes, yes,
in
yes. I
this
think,
stormy sea.
yeah.
Okay, so now, um, is God everywhere?
Yes. Mhm.
So that means he's inside you.
Mhm.
He's in your mind.
Mhm.
And so is Christ and Kuan Yin and Buddha and Mother Mary and everybody else. They're there, but we don't have access to them because we're caught in living in this world as if it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But every mystic who's gone before us says this isn't what it's all about. This is just the illusion. And Buddha said it best right at the beginning when he woke up from into enlightenment after 7 years under the Bodhi tree. That this world is a dream,
Mhm.
and I'm the dreamer,
Mhm.
and what I'm dreaming is coming from my mind.
We're having
Now
a
that was,
very bad dream right now, actually, worldwide.
yes, we are. Yes, we are. But it's our bad dream. And
Mhm.
the good news is we can do something about our bad dream. So
Mhm.
here's the first step. Um, how far off your heaven's path would you say you are right now?
20% comes up.
Mm, that's not bad. I've been dealing with people a lot higher.
I guess it's 80. And 20 comes up.
Well, how frightened are you?
80%.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Mhm.
Well, what if you ask Mother Mary and all of her angels to just carry you back to heaven's path?
It's like a very secure guidance. Yeah. Mhm.
Uh-huh. And as for, since you're now back on heaven's path,
Mhm.
as for Holy Family bonding for the whole world.
Ah, yeah. That touches me very much. Yeah, it's sweet.
And now, in every situation, and A Course in Miracles promises this, under every situation, actually, we have a gift that the situation obliterates and hides. And sometimes when you have a big gift, that's where your ego attacks you. So you would never guess that you had that gift.
Mhm.
But what unity level, what soul level gift did you bring in to help the world at this time?
Divinity comes up, or they believe in the divine.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like when you paint yourself into a corner, and a lot of people are, when they get painted into a corner, they choose to die.
Mhm.
But there's so much more available. When you paint yourself into a corner, look up. It's the only way out.
Mhm.
So, yeah, divinity. It's like we're meant to see things. You can't heal a problem from the level that it's on. Any kind of serious problem, you have to go higher. And so to go higher in this regard is the spiritual. And there are answers there. And one of them is that this world is a big giant laboratory where we are learning soul lessons. And it's known in Hinduism that on some of the epics of time where things are going really smooth and really spiritual and everybody's happy and you don't make much progress. But when things are dark, that's when you can really make progress. So this is actually a place of opportunity.
Mhm.
One of the chapters I was writing this last week is how to watch our mind because we are judging everything. Our mind is like a machine gun, judging everything. And when you send out judgment, which is attack thoughts, you see attack coming back and you get scared.
Mhm.
But it's starting in our mind. And so to change judgment into blessing.
Mhm.
So, divinity, could you imagine opening up your gift of divinity?
Mhm.
And can you ask? There's a place in A Course in Miracles that says, if you have a gift, give it back to God to be multiplied 1,000 or even 10,000 times. I think this is one of those 10,000 time opportunities,
Mhm.
and to ask that your divinity, which is everyone's divinity, because we only see what we think we are. So we're being presented parts of ourselves that we could never in any way imagine that were there because they've been hidden. They've been hidden in the deepest parts of our unconscious and in the collective. And the collective is all of our consciousness together. But things are coming out of the collective unconscious, and that can mean catastrophes, it can mean cataclysms, but we could clear it up. So as you offer your divinity
Mhm.
up to God
Mhm.
and to get it multiplied, please, 10,000 times, please, the world needs it. And then to bring it back and just imagine you sharing that gift with the whole world.
It's like angels flying out into the world. Mhm.
And how do you feel?
Hopeful. It feels, yeah, it feels very hopeful. It feels safe. Yeah, just a very like their saviors are coming, something like that. Actually, yeah,
Right. As you bring your gifts, other people, you're lighting up in the field of unity, and then other people get inspired to light up in the field of unity.
yeah, hmm,
And then we realize that it's all of us. We're all part of the same tapestry.
yeah,
We're all one mind evolving toward oneness. So there are some deep challenges on the way to oneness because we buried some really painful stuff. And so each time you solve something, it opens up this channel of grace.
mhm,
And the first thing is, I mean, you can't think about world issues if you've run out of money, or if your relationship is trashed, or if you're sick.
mhm. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let's help people get out of their emergency situations
Mhm,
so that they can then begin to look at world issues
mhm,
about which they also have gifts.
mhm,
So what I gave was a simple recipe because let's do this again. Think of the worst time in your life.
mhm.
Okay, so how old were you?
Three.
Right. So many of us, our worst times is when we're 3 years old. I mean, over 55 years of doing healing work, that is the number one year where people come up as the main trauma. Now, three is meant to express success, and it's meant to express our natural power.
Mhm,
But we're afraid of that for so many reasons. We abused it before, we're afraid of it now. But basically, it's confidence. And
mhm,
everybody loves to be confident.
mhm.
So we lost confidence back there. At three, how far did you get off the track?
500 kilometers.
Yeah. So then you were in ego territory.
Yes.
And then instead of it being a smooth path, heaven's path, it's really a mess.
Yeah.
And
Total.
we feel like a failure.
Mhm.
But how many beliefs in you being a failure came up at three?
20,000.
And then you compensate for it.
Hmm. Of course.
And you try to be successful and a good girl and, just everything else. But how much energy do you spend in compensation?
80% comes up.
What if you had that 80% for you and your partner?
It's just blooming, 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 everything. And
Right,
and the image was the world as well. It's like the world would be a happy place. Hmm.
right. So let's work toward that. First of all, we have 20,000 self concepts of failure. And what we have when we don't like things inside us is we bury it and then we project it out
Yeah.
until some point where our compensations wear out. And then all of a sudden, what comes to the surface is we're a failure. And then we want to crucify ourselves. Actually, we have been crucifying ourselves. And when you do that to yourself, you're going to do that to others.
Yeah.
But first of all, let's ask Mother Mary and her angels to bring you back on track at 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Go talk to your 3 year old. Let your 3 year old know you're driving the truck of your life right now, and it can relax.
Mm-hmm.
You got this.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it feel back on track at 3?
Powerful and confident. Again, this safety feeling comes up. They got me. They have it.
Yeah. And it's like, and you don't have to be driving the truck of your life. You could let the divine, the divine part of your own mind run the truck of your life. Because if your 3 year old's running it, it can't even see over the dashboard, and people on the sidewalk better beware.
I'm
I mean, we
imagining the whole world. Everybody, the 3-year olds are driving the cars. This is why we are crashing so much now.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Our 3 year olds need help. Okay. And when your 3 year old gets back on heaven's path, ask for holy family bonding for whatever was happening at 3, whatever terrible experience you were going through.
Mhm.
It was really a bad choice we made to get off the track. But now we get back on track. We have this bonding. But what is the soul gift you had at 3 to help the situation?
Angelic lifetime comes up. A lot of it
Now,
today.
it's obvious to people who know you, maybe not your boyfriend, that you have this angelic part. He sees the diabolical part, but
Right now, I think he sees the angelic as well.
yippee, yippee.
Yeah.
Because when you both get to that part, it's just pure celebration. And through your minds joined together, it's like creation can come through, the angels can come through, pure love can come through, miracles. So, but here you had this hamstring at 3, and you've been limping ever since, like most of us, because 3 is all about the year, not only success, but it's about your purpose.
Mm.
And most people go, well, what's my purpose?
Exactly.
Well, what I found, and this was back in the 70s and early 80s, that most people's traumas had to do because they were afraid of their purpose. Your ego says, oh, you have this great purpose, Betty, and you can't possibly do it. So here, if you suffer a little bit, I'll show you a way to hide. Except it isn't just a little bit. It was devastating. It
Yeah.
knocked us clear off the track. 80%. That's the most common number I hear.
Mhm.
But now it's like, what soul gift did you bring for everybody?
Divinity comes up again. Like,
Right.
fine.
So let's go back there. And now you give that divinity that you've already pulled up to your 3 year old and help your 3 year old find her divinity.
Mhm.
She's not just a little monkey, she's a little angel.
Mhm. Yeah.
And she could just be that way. And that's such a blessing to the world. It's like grace channels through you at 3, first for your family, but then for everybody.
Mhm.
And now
Very
it's like, yeah, it's like from 3 years old, imagine being on heaven's track. How much of a different life is it?
totally, of course. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then we learn things the easy way rather than the hard way.
Mhm.
See, the crazy thing I learned, in my first 10 years of working, um, from up to 1981, what I learned in the first year was that all of our pain is coming from the past. Because I would be working on somebody's problem, and all of a sudden we'd end up talking about their childhood. And if we fix the problem in the childhood, all of a sudden that problem dissolved. Now, this is when I was working with, doing drug rehab and, working with young men and, and that was known as the most resistant population. But if they learned something vital about themselves, they were willing to go forward into healing themselves. And for a while, we had the best rehabilitation statistics in the world. It was a 4-month program, 3-month program, still the best statistics of rehab in the world. I mean, after a year after leaving, 90 some percentile had given up drugs. They were living a different kind of life. And we didn't have the hardest population to work with. We didn't have the heroin abusers. We had some heroin abusers and things like this, but people got better. 90 some percentile. It was crazy. But when they changed the program from 90 days to 75 days, it went from 120 to 90 days to 75 days. Statistics began to fall.
Mhm.
For those of us at the rehab center, it was either get better or give up because it was just the amount of need was overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so I began looking deeper in the mind for quicker ways. And I learned hypnosis and I developed this intuitive method that we've worked with, to get to the heart of the problem and then to change it. But now, see, if you have this thing at 3 years old, then we need to go back to 3 months old.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I found if there's a trauma in childhood, then it actually goes back, swings back to when we're kids in the womb. We're babies. And people say, well, how could that be? Well, I don't know. But I can tell you this: the soul, the mind is working. I worked with people, I worked with a young guy back then, 1976, who his first heartbreak was at conception because his mother was having a heartbreak.
Okay, yeah. Mhm.
So he took that on and he never had a successful relationship. And he was a young, handsome guy, but never. And but when we got back, we worked through his birth trauma and then we went back to conception. And at conception, we see this heartbreak with mom and dad. And he was able to bring the healing, to bring getting everybody back on track and to have the bonding and to clear up the misunderstanding and to give the gift that he brought for his parents as a couple. That was like a Friday afternoon. By Monday morning, he had a girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
First time.
Oh my.
And he was this handsome young guy who was really sincere and but it just nothing worked out for him. So now, at 3 months in the womb, if you were to know who's the problem with,
My dad.
yeah, because in while we're in the womb, we're psychic sponges.
Mhm.
Everything that happens around us, we personalize it as if it's happening to us. And what's happening with your dad?
He's in caught up in his own trauma and yeah, just seems not available, not for my mom, and in general, he's very caught up in his own pain, actually. Mhm.
So you were without a father,
Mhm.
except, heaven doesn't want us to be deprived in any way.
Mhm.
So what was it that you needed back then?
Mm, Safety, security, and this bonding, this masculine stability.
Yeah. And that's what I kept hearing also.
Mhm.
So imagine what if you're the one who has those gifts? I have done similar exercises to this hundreds of thousands of times. And what I found was if one parent doesn't have what you need, well, guess what? You brought it in, but you're going, okay, come on, I'm the kid. You're meant to do it for me.
Mhm.
Except that kind of where you have those expectations that never works out. But underneath that, there is the gift, which brings your mind back together. So, who do you think might have a gift of safety and security?
Yeah, obviously me, but there's the doubt back then because I'm the girl, I'm the baby, he is the man. So this masculine stability, how can I bring that to him? And there, this spiral starts. Whatever I can see. Yeah. Mhm.
Betty, I didn't know you had this kind of um, view. I'm the baby, I'm the girl.
Yeah. This
I
just
mean, I've never heard this from you before. It's very cute.
every time it's the first time. Yeah, this just came.
So,
This came up. Yeah. Mhm.
but it's like, wouldn't that bring a smile to people's faces to know you're bringing that gift of safety and security?
Of course, yeah. That's what they have told me always that they can feel that I have this. So just didn't realize
Yeah.
it from my dad.
Okay. So imagine, bringing the gift up and offering it to heaven to be multiplied 10,000 times.
Oh wow, yeah. It feels like a tree is really
Yeah.
coming down. Mhm,
Yeah. And share that with your
mhm,
with your papa. I got you, Dad. I got your back.
mhm. Yeah, then he feels safe and secure.
And can you give that to your brother?
Mhm,
And then can you give that to your mother?
mhm.
And what soul gift did you bring in for your parents as a couple?
The true love.
Ooh. So at 3 months, can you share that with your parents as a couple?
Mhm, feels very stable. Mhm.
Sweet. And how does that feel for you now as a tadpole? I mean, you were saying, "Oh, I'm a girl and he's the man," and but you weren't even a girl at 3 months. You were still a tadpole.
Yeah. I just can see myself laughing. It's just I'm just happy and laughing. They're actually, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and ask that your whole family be brought back on track. Your father, but the whole family.
Mhm.
And as for that holy family bonding for everyone.
Mhm.
Now, um, who can you share this gift of true love to?
With the world,
Yes, with the world, but let's start specifically
my boyfriend.
with your boyfriend.
Yes, of course.
Good start, huh? Anybody else?
Friends, close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. There's
I
some,
mean, everybody could use a dose of,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's just gone through Valentine's Day, which for so many people is just a disappointing time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at their life and their relationship and they attack themselves.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Send an extra dose out for them. And it's building that bonding with your partner so that things get to be golden. I mean, if you keep going down that path, you'll have a golden relationship. And now, um, as you share your gift of safety and security,
Mhm.
so could you share that with your boyfriend? Yeah. And then with your family, and then with your friends.
Mhm. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you, with heaven, have that gift, safety and security. And it just blesses the world.
Yeah. Feels very stable right now. Yeah. And the world,
Mhm.
the conflict, it's right now the image inside of me is stability. Mhm.
Mhm. We can go deeper.
Of course. Let's go.
all of this leads up to what's going on in our lives now. But if you were to pick the lifetime that was feeding into the 3 month old and 3 year old trauma, it
Mhm.
was a life you spent in the country that's now called
Australia,
as a man or woman.
woman.
And somehow, if you were to know what happened to yourself back there,
Uh,
Australia is the place they do have kangaroos, not
yes,
Austria.
that's exactly funny. I was leading a tribe, a female tribe,
Mhm.
but got killed.
Okay.
Mhm. Never been.
So,
That's very interesting.
what was the lesson you were looking to learn back there?
I don't know in English. To be compatibility is the word that comes up.
Compatibility. Uh-huh. And so, what was the soul gift you brought in to learn that lesson easily and be happy?
Mm, again, this divine leadership, divine guidance, actually. Yeah.
So, notice if you go back to that lifetime when you were killed,
Mhm.
before you were killed,
Mhm.
you had a loss of faith,
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
and you doubted yourself,
Mhm.
and you thought, I can't do this.
Mhm.
How could I do this? It's a whole new way of thinking, you know,
Yeah. 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 Mhm.
a matriarchal tribe.
Mhm. It was a self-worth issue.
Hmm? So from this life, what could you give yourself back in that life?
Mhm. Confidence and self-love, and really believing in myself, but in connection with the divine guidance.
Mhm.
The angels have me, this feeling that's coming up.
And I have a gift for you back there, which is the gift of your divine purpose
Mhm. Yeah.
and answering that call and knowing that you don't have to have everything figured out. That's what heaven's for. You don't have to know how to do it. That's what heaven's for. You have to just, well, you're called to say yes. And so let's say Buddha has a gift for you back there.
Mhm.
What gift does he have for you?
It's humor, actually. It's just taking everything really with ease and humor, not being so serious.
Great. And that's such a leadership gift because the more serious things are, the more your mind shuts down from the guidance that's available. And there's always guidance available.
Yeah, what I can feel is that there was so much doubt. I was doubting extremely, and this just killed me, literally.
Right. So, your soul gift, that confidence and self love, can you open that up as a little girl? And what's heaven's gift to you in that life to learn that lesson easily and be happy?
It's connected to heaven, actually. It's divine love,
Mhm.
really being in the hands of the divine. Mhm. It's a very spiritual life, actually. It feels extremely spiritual. Yeah.
And so now, as to be brought back onto heaven's path
Mhm.
and have that holy family bonding for your whole band and to share, let your gifts overflow for your whole band.
Yeah, wow. It's just everybody gets like connected to the divine. Yeah,
A lot of people are going through confusion right now.
exactly. Yeah, mhm, I can see that.
And part of that confusion is doubt.
Mhm.
And all doubt about anything or anyone is self doubt, actually.
Mhm.
And it's self attack.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just when you think you've gotten to partnership, that you've made it, that you reach balance, all of a sudden the ego hits you with this self doubt.
Mhm.
And if you're not aware of it, I mean, it's self attack, but it doesn't really have an effect on who you are as your divinity. It's just your ego.
Mhm.
But we've done this exercise with the funnel,
Mhm.
which is a gift from the divine sisterhood. And you can throw anything. You can throw confusion in there. You can throw doubt in there. And it just gets recycled up into the present. And in the present, there's no problem. The problems are always from the past imposed on the present, but it has a past root. That's what I found back in the 70s.
Would you mind for the viewers who are not conformed with the funnel, explain again what the funnel is about?
Yeah. About 2 years ago, I had this kind of uh, otherworldly experience, which I doubted for a while. And it was a visitation by the divine sisterhood. And they placed in my heart, in my chest, this golden pink funnel. And it was first thing inside there, anything you put inside there hit truth. And then it hit transformation. And then it was added to get my gifts, my purpose, and my destiny. And I found that when I was aware enough to go, oh, I could just put this in the funnel and recycle it so that instead of it being determined by the past, it happened in the present. Now, I took, a while to study that. Did this really happen or is this my imagination? But what I found is the results that came from it. And that's how you tell, like back in the when I worked people with these problems back in the womb, and these major problems would dissolve. So the proof of the pudding's in the tasting. So it worked. They were freed. So I began to find that this was really helpful. Golden pink funnel for everyone. And all you need to do is simply ask for it.
So, as
Put
an exercise, for example, for people watching with this whole world view now, could we just put this view or this perception we have into our funnels?
exactly. And you can put like your fears and your confusion. We have so much buried in our minds. So things keep coming up. We think we're doing great. And then everything hits the fan. And that's just an opportunity, actually, something from the past. Your soul felt you were ready for it. I worked with a fella 2 nights ago, young man, and he was having a spiritual undoing,
Mhm.
which meant his whole world fell apart. And he'd been confused now for a couple months, like, what do I do? Where do I go? Nothing has any real solid meaning for me. I want to do this. My family has some opposition to it. What do I do?
Mhm.
And um, so it's like when we got through everything, and there was death temptation, and there were, fears of death, which is actually a death temptation. And it came down to that he had this spiritual undoing in his life. And it was meant to, drop this last chapter, which actually wasn't working for him anymore, and to go to a higher level and a higher, more spiritual level, a higher level where you're in touch with your divinity. If this world is a giant laboratory where we are learning lessons and then increasing our consciousness, our mind power, because we are pygmies compared to what is potentially there in our mind. So it's like freeing ourselves of all of the blocks. And the funnel is just a real easy way to do that. You want another easy one?
Yes, please.
So, um, name something that's a problem for you.
There's as well some confusion and doubt right now in my life about certain things.
So, what if you were to take that
Mhm,
to God's trading post? Because he'll trade illusions that we have for things of substance,
mhm.
real gifts. So, when you lay that confusion and doubt on at the trading post, what do you get back for it?
The stability again comes stability and like
Mhm.
it's
Which the world is lacking. Now, who can you share that stability with? Because as you share it, it increases for you. Your confidence increases.
of course my partner, my family, friends, people in the office, and then
Mhm.
everybody out there. This is clients. I see that they are very much instability.
Yeah.
Really needs
But
me.
you come in with confidence,
Mhm.
they'll want you as the server,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm,
But when heaven's got your back,
mhm.
what is it that you can't do?
Anything.
Right. And that's what we're learning. We're learning to partner with our families and with our partners and with our children. And we're learning to partner with heaven. So we have that help that we don't think we have to do it on our own, which doesn't work. I mean, we start off and we have this image of being so independent, but we don't have many interdependent heroes,
Mhm.
you know, who could be that connected, who are balanced in their masculine and feminine.
But what I see as well is that there's so much trauma coming up, really deep trauma.
Right. So we're called to be change agents.
Mhm.
We're called to be healers. Everyone's life, part of your purpose is healing, is clearing the past. So, how does Australia feel now?
Liberated and yeah, it just feels good. It's fun. It's just fun tribe and very connected and very feminine and loving and abundant,
And from
celebrating.
heaven's track, can you come into all your lifetime since then, sharing those gifts with yourself, but also with everyone around you,
Mm.
all the way up into this life?
Mhm.
Okay.
Really cool.
Now,
I've never felt this energy from my past lives actually in the work with you. It's really nice.
great. Because this is what they're meant to be. We're meant to transform them and learn those lessons. But now, what would you say um, is the biggest problem being passed through your mother's side of the family? Let's do some ancestral healing.
Mm. Yeah, lack of confidence in themselves.
Okay. If you were to know how many generations ago did it begin?
Oh, I don't, the 20,000 comes up.
So it's almost right at the beginning.
Mhm, mhm.
Hmm. So instead of confidence, what was the emotion that's mainly there? Is it guilt? Is it fear? Is it authority conflict? Is it anger? Is it revenge?
Panic comes up.
Yeah, so terrible fear.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay, so fear comes from separation.
mhm.
Okay, so how many steps after the big fall Or how many falls after the big fall would you say this pattern began on your mother's side of the family?
19.
So this is well into that area of the mind in the collective unconscious, in our personal unconscious, called what I call the astral. And it's where we kept choosing separation.
Mhm.
You know, at each fall, we were offered a gift and more light, but we chose to follow the ego's idea that separation would save us. Now, if you know anything about psychological dynamics, that's the stuff that's killing us. We keep fragmenting ourselves, and the ego wants us dead. I mean, it's insane. You know, it's hitched a ride in us, thinking that it will survive our death. No, then it's game over. When you come back, it's a new personality. It's a new way to try to go forward. So back there, let's go right back to that choice point
Mhm.
in the astral. Let's see. Do I listen to the ego and separate again, which means boom, another layer of exquisite pain. And all these layers of terrible agony are buried inside us. You know, they talk about, you know, saints going through the dark night of the soul. And they're going through pain. They don't mind that so much, but they've lost their connection with God. But God's everywhere. So it's getting through that particular suffering, that illusion, that trauma. So, but let's go back there, and you're getting ready to make that choice. Do you want the gift and the light and a new step forward, or do you want to go?
Of course, the light.
So, what's the gift you have for your mother?
Divinity, true divinity comes to
Mm-hmm.
the
And let's go back to that original self back there and also give that to yourself back there.
It's getting back the connection, the first connection to heaven.
You mean like oneness?
Oneness, yes. Yeah.
Yippee! So it's like Mother Mary can carry it from the gift you gave to your mother all the way back, all those generations, and even from back there, give that gift. You make the right choice. You get to choose again. That
Mhm.
was a bad choice. Oopsie. But now all of a sudden, like something shifts in your mind. Well,
Absolutely.
it's the gift that came to you.
Love healing. I don't know. It's just weird words. Love healing comes.
Yeah, where your love heals, and love is the greatest healer. Here's a quote from Gandhi: "Love is the strongest force the world possesses, and yet it is the humblest imaginable." That's from Gandhi. Hmm. Here's another one from him: "When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of love and truth have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, but in the end, they always fail." And that's from Gandhi.
Can feel the angelic again. It's very very nice today. Mhm.
And Betty, people who know you know that you bring the angelic. I mean, you didn't always know that,
No,
and you were trying to run from that
Mhm.
because it's your destiny to show that much love, to show that much light without even doing anything. But think think who around you needs some healing right now.
My boyfriend's son.
So that he popped into my mind too. So would you open up this gift of love healing?
Yes.
and just share it with your boyfriend's son.
Mhm.
And of course, you can ask heaven to multiply that gift thousands of times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who can resist that?
Not even him.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
okay. What's the biggest problem passed down through your father's side of the family?
Anger comes up.
Uh-huh. And how many generations ago did that begin, if you were to know?
That comes up 20 and again 20,000.
So basically, this is a deep psychological and spiritual thing that all of the anger situations around us are actually coming from our mind
Mhm.
to distract us from the anger we had when we made the mistake in separating.
Mhm.
Because separation is a form of anger. Withdrawal is a form of anger, as well as judgment and attack. And I mean, judgment separates us.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
the alternative to judgment is blessing.
Mhm.
Things don't get better without help. And so, blessing is the power of our mind with love, wanting the best for someone or for some situation,
Mhm.
and knowing that it could become more whole. So, imagine that you and your angel buddies were back where that first ancestor on your father's side made that mistake
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and how much he suffered. And but then we continue to go in the wrong direction. You know, they built mazes for rats and everything like this, but they found that they made giant mazes for human beings, and we keep making the same mistake. Animals learn the lesson. We keep making the same mistake, end up in the same cul-de-sac. It's crazy. But now it's like this anger can't exist where there's love because it's a return to oneness. And so give it to your father from this end
Mhm.
and give it to your ancestors at the other end
Mhm.
and let heaven bring both of those sides together so that they're just from the top and from right here with your father, it shifts.
Wow. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. So, how's your father look now?
Like totally cleaned up. It takes out so much darkness actually, and it's a new person full of
Yeah,
love.
and that's why we've come up with this idea of doing an ancestral healing workshop. In Germany at the time, you know, they signed the peace treaty for the end of the war. And I have some friends and colleagues who we're going to put together like 4 days. And the first evening is these amazing healers. You know, one is a professor at Stanford who's taught about the power of forgiveness all these years. And then another woman who has worked with people she went to Rwanda after the genocide and she was working with people and she's going to do a presentation that night and and then a healer from a tribe in Kenya who have been doing ancestral healing. It's just the most beautiful thing. I experienced it, the most beautiful, powerful experience, and it's just an evening that's open to everyone. It'll be online.
The 8th of May, exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
The 8th of May, right when the treaty was signed for the end of World War II, because we're still carrying the scars of that. And what I found over 20 years ago, about 25 years ago, in the unconscious is we promised we would save our ancestors. We promised we would free them. And already, 25 years before that, I had started finding ways to heal ancestral problems. I just presented two of the real easy ones, but there's some very powerful healing methods that can free our ancestors, because the truth is innocence. The rest is a mistake that the ego has used to keep us locked in to this sense of prison. But that's not heaven's will for us.
The workshop finds place on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of May. I
Yeah.
the main
9th, 10th, and 11th of May. And there's some spots open.
exactly directly in Frankfurt in Germany or online.
Yeah, it's Frankfurt in Germany and online. There's a few spots open for people. I think it's more than half filled now. There's a few spots open for people to still join in person, which gets really fun and dramatic and powerful. And we're going to be working with basically some of the major issues going on in the world today. How to get through what seems like unsolvable problems, and people you can't forgive. You just can't just know they hurt me too much. And we just show ways to get through that, because that's not the truth and it's not heaven's will for us. So we've all come to free ourselves, and this is a time where we're moving into great opportunities to leap forward in consciousness and in love and knit the world back together, because the world is reflecting our mind. And the more it comes together, the more creative power it has. The
We've got
more,
some work to do right now. Yeah.
yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we can do it because heaven's got our back.
Thank you so much for this insight, those exercises, and your time. And yeah, see you soon for more.
It's good to be back together.
Yes,
Yippee!
so much. Thank you, Chuck.
I
Love
love this. Okay.